you're expecting Dr. No. Alright guys, it's Bats here. Wanted to go ahead and do this video real quick, mainly because one, little behind on the Dragonity Epic deck profile of histories, and two, we have a new ban list coming up theoretically in September. We'll see what happens there, and people are gonna wanna, well, frankly, people are just trying to figure out what to play. And you know, I don't actually know, but I do know a couple neat decks that are fairly budget as of right now that might be worth playing here in the future. So as of right now, here is my top 11 relatively budget decks to go ahead and play for the new September 2017 format. Why top 11? Because that's what Doug Walker does, and you know what? I want to step it up with another notch too. So again, without further ado, top 11 budget-ish decks for the September 2017 format. So number 11, Vendread. So zombies have always kind of been a staple of Yu-Gi-Oh! Even since the original Duel Monsters. Zombie Synchro is a real dangerous sort of thing too. It's got a ton of generic support. It's easy to swarm the field, swarm the board, so you always have link material if you're concerned about that. Keeps your extra deck live. And you know what, frankly? They just make Omega like a beast, and we all know how powerful Omega is in this format. Just FYI. So Omega deals lots of strong extra deck monsters, handles your Masterpiece, handles your, what do you call that thing? Handles your Trident, a number of other cards. Great little place, and the cool thing about the Vendreads, I suppose you can really call it any zombie archetype, but the Vendreads are getting more support, new stuff coming up soon in the upcoming Circuit Break sets, and it's a TCG exclusive, so it's kind of a surprise for people that have only been playing the OCG games and only know what to do about Trickstars or World Chalice. Number 10, DDDs. Now, again, this is another one of those kind of niche decks. It's very powerful. It's already got all of its support. Didn't get touched by the ban list. Hello, makes Omega, makes Crystal Wing all in one turn, and you can still do a lot of the combos. It's already a high complexity deck, and it's a little difficult to run. You know what, frankly, you can buy 3 of the starter decks to get started. The only expensive thing really with the DDDs is your extra deck. Most of the things like Genghis, Dark, and most of all the other DDD actual monsters have already gotten their reprints. So the only things we really need, Beals, Omega, which got a reprint, Trishula got a reprint, a lot of things have got some great reprints here. And you know what, another neat little tech that you can add to it, the Supreme King Dark Rebellion Dragon and Supreme King Clearwing actually are very powerful tech pieces. And awesome, all you need is a decode talker or two, maybe a GoFu, and bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a Link engine. Easy stuff. Cyverse Link. And there aren't a lot of good Cyverse cards yet, so this probably won't be the most competitive deck, but going forward, with all the new support that we're getting, this might be a good deck to start investing in as it improves over time. It's a protagonist deck, there's a lot of support for it already, it's going to get continuous new support, kind of like Performa Pals, Odd Eye Submissions have always been solid all the way from, well, the end of the Duelist Alliance era all the way up until today, honestly. We'll probably talk about that a little bit more in the video later on. So that's why I made my number 9 pick, Firewall Dragon, Topological Bomber Dragon. The mutual link ability is something that World Chalice does pretty well, but while World Chalice may or may not get hit with the ban list, in the foreseeable future, Cyverse, I don't foresee having anything crazy that's going to get hit really, really hard anytime soon. It's got a structure deck coming up that's going to have a lot of good cards in it too. So Deep Barrier, Strikes, Cosmic Cyclones, things like that, that's coming up in November. So it's feasibly a pretty strong deck to hold on to there. Number 8, Dino Mist. Put the torches and pitchforks down. Let me finish. Dynamist. I know the water deck that you're kind of expecting me to talk about was Mermails, but you know what? Everybody talks about Mermails, okay? There's never been a single, could this be medalist or like upcoming medalist or budget medalist or whatever, that doesn't talk about Mermail Atlantean some one level or another. You know it's a possibility. Let's move on. Another deck that will benefit from a card that we're actually getting in September in the special edition versions of Code of the Duelist. Mista Boy, which is a Great Link monster that requires 2 water-type monsters. So not only can you use that in heroes, I guess, because they have Bubble Man, dinosaurs can use that as well too. Obviously Mermails can, Cristrons, but another one that people don't think about is Dynomist. Now it has topped a YCS, I believe it was a World Qualifier, it made it to day 2 on. A little bit of a niche sort of build there, so it might need some updating for future builds, but you know what, you can still make Cyber Dragon Infinity, you can still naturally make Bahamut Shark, and by extension, totally awesome with a Mistar Boy. You actually, given the right hand, can do that before the Pendulum Summon, where you get the Mistar Boy first, then when you Pendulum Summon back out, you can make your Infinity, and potentially a Bahamut Shark, plus the totally awesome. Any combination of the two there. You probably won't get an Infinity plus a Shark. You'll end up with like an Infinity plus maybe a Rafflesia, and then Mista Boy on top of things, maybe a Rex if you're lucky there. So it's still going to require some time, but you know the scales are robust. It's a lot easier to get some extra scales right now with the new trap that came out, in addition to the current spell card that they have. And you know they have a cool little Armades effect. They don't necessarily need the extra deck, so the extra deck monsters that they have are a massive boon on top of the powerful main deck monsters that they have. So something to keep in mind. Okay, number 7, Spirals. Torches, pitchforks, down, please, stop that. I know that's not the first thing you wanted to hear, maybe Subterror, something along those lines. Spirals are kind of low-key, a really good deck. They had some sporadic road topping performances in the last couple formats, especially since they've been introduced. Neat thing though, they're getting a Link monster here pretty soon, and they actually function within Links pretty well. It's still kind of like a Synchro Spam Turbo sort of deck, not quite Quasar, but gets in there. You know, you make your Cyframe Lord Omegas and things like that, plenty of space for Nitoria Beast and things like that too. Actually, come to think of it, Eric has a pretty lit profile on the channel. I'll go ahead and link it over here. Can I do that? Nope. Link it over here. Can't do that either. Link it down here. Okay. It's down here in the description box below if you want to check that out though. Cosmo. Everybody's favorite deck that came out after the Duelist Alliance era. Obviously, you know, next to Draco Pals and Pendulums in general. Monarch. Okay, it was kind of the red-headed stepchild of the meta decks that came out, but you know what? All things considered, it's kind of a solid deck. Now, the deck doesn't really thrive on using the extra deck, which was kind of a rare thing at the time that it came out, but it's relatively cheap right now. A lot of the cards have gotten reprinted. You don't necessarily need 3 of everything, aside from, I think, what is it, Slip Rider, I think is the only thing they really need 3 of. You can easily go into Infinity. There are a lot of variants, including the Demise variant, Fire King variant, so you have a lot of options to work the skeleton around. And, you know, cards are still pretty easy to get, so something to consider. Another somewhat surprising deck, I think people are kind of expecting it, so they're citing for it, Chaos Hunters and Lancias and things like that, so people are prepared. Don't be surprised if you see a lot at your locals. So. The legendary Duelist decks, actually. It's kind of a cheat here, I'm sorry. I'd squeeze 3 decks, technically 4 if you really want to break it down, and their variants into just 1 slot here. Mainly because all of them actually have their functionality. Red Eyes can work as a very efficient anti-meta sort of semi-chaos stun build. There have been a couple of those in the OCG that have been topping. They have more skill drains than us, so you're going to have to be creative with things like Ruins of the Dragon Lord, lose 1 turn on top of the skill drain. Blue Eyes, obviously, another strong one, but yeah, 3k beaters for free. On average, with popping effects, board clearing effects are pretty easy to do with that one there. They even have their own in-archetype Regeki. You won't hardly use it, but it is technically searchable, something to put out there. They have their own built-in kind of brilliant fusion. The Mausoleum of White actually has a built-in little brilliant fusion effect, so you can multiple special summon a few things. Still gets into Crystal Wing pretty easily in the pure variant. Invoked has been working really well with Dark Magician, especially since it doesn't have a lot of Link support yet. None of them really do. I think Link Kuriboh is actually going to be a pretty strong card for all 3 of them, since it only requires 1 monster and then opens up some possibilities with Love Leader level. So something to consider there. Magician Girls are another cool one because they just work off of each other and they just chain together a lot of quick special summons that really weaken your opponent's monsters, so you can actually do a lot of damage with them. Cards that people aren't used to seeing, especially the Magician Girls, so Element of Surprise again. Doesn't really require the extra deck, doesn't go into it very often, but when it does, you have some really devastating cards. Metal Foes was another one I wanted to talk about, mainly because it's a very flexible deck. There are a lot of engines you can work with there. It still works with the Zodiac. The Zoo's going to be pretty cheap going forward, and I think it's still going to be able to get you into an instant Mrs. Radiant, depending on what gets hit, what doesn't get hit at this point. So obviously if Rapier gets hit, that's going to have to modify the combo a bit, but it's still been used in the OCG, especially with Magicians, I've noticed. But Metal Foes still have a lot of options there too. You can also play Avion in Metal Foes, you can play Luna, Fairy Tail Luna in Metal Foes. Bulbacoon can go ahead and flip things back. And you know what? Metal Foes are still really strong cards, all things considered, for being a bunch of random leveled, just normal pendulum monsters. The fact that you have the pendulum summon on top of other shenanigans that you have as an option there too, just really gives you a lot of flexibility in the deck. Helps you work around D-Barrier and things like that too, because D-Barrier is going to be very accessible moving forward. Gives you some more link options too. It's not a bad place to be, so something to consider there. ABC Dragon Buster. Alright, so another thing about Dragon Buster, a lot of the cards have gotten reprinted. The gadgets are pretty cheap right now. So is Photon Thrasher, that even got reprinted in a starter deck, so for Christ's sake, it's easy to get to. The ABC cards came out of a structure deck. One of the mildly pricier structure decks. I think I've been seeing it on average at about $13 online. If you can still find it at your locals, hey, awesome, pick them up. Also, support your locals for Christ's sake. Actually, with the ABCs is, you can actually jump into Link monsters a little easier once you get Dragon Buster. You use it for its utility. Then you whip back a bunch of other monsters, the component pieces on your opponent's turn. And then back to your turn, you whip out a Decode Talker, whip out another ABC Dragon Buster, and just go ahead and proceed to cause some shenanigans from there. It's not a bad deal. Chainburn. I get it. It's Chainburn. Fact of the matter, it just won Worlds. Was it Dragon Duels? Yes. But it won Worlds. Enough said. Pendulum Magicians. And I am sure you guys are fucking sick of me talking about this deck, and I know it's my pet deck. But honestly, I think it's going to be an amazing deck going forward into Link format. Mainly because, one, the support hasn't slowed down. We're getting like Trump Pandas and Supreme King monsters and all sorts of wild stuff that just came out in Circuit Break. We also have a new Legendary Dex that's coming out right now. Very, very flexible, has a high ceiling, and you can use it with any summoning condition. It link summons very easily. You toss in a couple Gofus, bada bing, bada boom, and also has a lot of Earth support too. So it's an instant Mrs. Radiant traditionally. Has a couple of hand loops you can use, has back row control, has front row control. A lot of monsters with attack changing abilities where you can get the OTK. Like I said, it battles, it hits hard, it does a lot of damage, and frankly, it's a solid deck. It's cheap too. All the stuff's been reprinted, so you can get most things for. You can honestly get a core for under $40 pretty easily. Alright guys, but that was our top 11 list, or our top 10 list plus one, I guess is what we're calling that. Again, had to go one step Utopia beyond. Ooh, I hear the angry mob outside for the puns. But in the meantime, go ahead and drop a like and drop a comment below. Subscribe to the channel for more of our generalized shenanigans, mainly for the Honest Deck Profile, so it's our favorite thing to do, and always happy to take some suggestions on that. But yeah, let us know what you think. Was our list really bad? Was it really good? Do you have any other suggestions? Start a conversation. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and see you back Wednesday with something else, I'm pretty sure. And then we'll go ahead and go from there. So thanks again. Ace of Bats, signing out.